Narcissism and ADHD can be very similar and they can be misdiagnosed. Narcissistic Personality Disorder, NPD, and Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder, ADHD, can sometimes appear to be very similar. They both involve that impulsivity. They both involve the difficulty in maintaining focus. However, the reasons behind their behaviours are different. And you will often notice somebody with ADHD will usually take responsibility for who they are as a person, whereas a narcissistic individual is looking to excuse their behaviour and pass the blame. Disorders, the labels, these are created by usually psychologists to help describe behaviours, not to excuse them. They're done so we can learn from them and develop ways to do better as an individual, something that narcissistic individuals don't want to do because they do not see themselves as the problem. They latch onto something and they find an excuse. When it comes to narcissists, they lack empathy, whereas people with ADHD can come across as lacking empathy. They can come across as being self-centered. People with ADHD can struggle to focus, yet they still care deeply about others. Narcissists, however, lack the true empathy and see people as tools for their own gain. There's the attention seeking and distractibility. So those with ADHD can interrupt conversations or seem uninterested due to their condition. Narcissistic individuals, on the other hand, actively seek to interrupt conversations to deliberately fuel their own ego. The handling of criticism. People don't need to have a disorder to find it challenging to handle criticism. People with ADHD often feel guilt or shame when criticised and often look for ways to improve. A narcissist might feel a moment of guilt or shame, which is why they will quickly pass the blame. They can react with anger, denial, or blame shifting to protect their fragile ego. The emotional reactions. ADHD can lead to emotional outbursts due to their impulsivity. Narcissists use emotions strategically, often so that they can manipulate others. They can handle themselves just fine when there are potential witnesses around. Accountability. Those with ADHD may forget their responsibilities. People without ADHD can walk into a room and think, I need to do this. And then as they walk in, they see something else and they prioritise as something else and then something else and something else. And then they go back to the original thing that perhaps they didn't really want to do in the first place. People with ADHD can do this also. They can forget responsibilities. However, they take ownership. They will say, that's what I was meant to do. Whereas a narcissist will refuse to take the blame and they will just shift it onto somebody else. Relationships. Those with ADHD can struggle socially. People without ADHD can struggle socially. However, they still value relationships. Narcissists see people as a means to an end for the narcissist to exploit to get their needs met. The core motivation is different. ADHD stems from difficulties with focusing and impulse control. Narcissistic individuals are driven by a need for power, control, and admiration. Understanding these differences can help avoid misdiagnosis. Although we're human, we make mistakes. It also ensures that you take a step back to recognise patterns of behaviour, so that you can recognise whether you're dealing with a toxic individual who takes no responsibility and makes no effort to change, or somebody who makes mistakes, takes responsibility, and learns or looks to discover ways to learn to adapt their behaviours for the better, for the benefit of themselves and the benefit of those around them. Narcissistic individuals only look to benefit themselves.